now at question 8, which reads, differentiate the function g as x tends to x squared minus 1 upon x cubed with respect to x. This question is a tutorial question 2020-2021 drawn from elementary differential and integral calculus. Now, let me quickly introduce the concept of differentiation or derivative if you have not understood it before. Okay, so if you have something like y equals to a power x, now to differentiate this, all we have to do is to say dy, okay, then dA, because we have to differentiate this with respect of the base a that is here, okay? So we say dy, then dA. Now immediately we do this, we are going to use the power to multiply the base, then we subtract 1 from the power, all right? So it will become power times base, then power minus 1. So power times base is x times a, which gives us xa, then power minus 1 is x minus 1, which is x minus 1. So whatsoever result we have here will give us the derivative of this particular function. Now with this in mind, let us rewrite this function given to us here. We know that the function is g of x, which equals to x squared minus 1 upon x power 3. Now I can see that this is an inverse function. So instead of writing it as 1 upon x power 3, I will come to the next step and I will say g of x is equals to x squared, then minus, then I'll write the base x, then this time around the power will become minus 3. So you can see that this of minus 3 shows you that we are talking about the inverse function that we have here. So at this point now we can differentiate, but mind you, there are many ways I can take the derivative of every function. I can write it as dy dA or dy dx, or in this case now I'm going to write it as g prime of x. This is another way we can write the derivative of a function. So since we have g of x, then we can write it as g prime of x, and this will equals to, now in this first function we have x power 2. Don't forget what I told you, it will become 2 times x, which gives us 2x, then 2 minus 1, which is what we have here. Then to go to the next function, which is x power minus 3, it will be minus 3 times x. For that reason, we'll open a bracket and write our minus 3, then we'll write the x, then minus 3 minus 1, which is minus 3 minus 1. Okay, so in the next step now, we know that this value here will give us 2x power 1, because 2 minus 1 is 1. Then minus, this is open bracket, minus 3. Then we have x power minus 1, minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. So in this case, what we are going to do now is to write this as 2x. We can leave out the 1, okay? Then minus times plus, minus times minus will give us plus. Then we have plus 3. Then x power what? Minus 4. Now note here that since the question we have an inverse function there, then I think it will be more appropriate for us to write this final answer as 2x plus 3. Then the x power minus 4 is an inverse function. So we are going to bring it under this 3 and write it as x power 4. And this is the answer to the question.